Hello everybody, how is it going? So, today we have another one of the preliminary tournaments for the championship. I believe this venue is Hiroshima, and we have Purple Luffy. Hand is Page 1, Law, X-Drake, Missile Sunday, and the 5-drop Kid. And he is against a Red Zoro. I think that's the only Zoro. Unless I guess you could count red, or no, not red-green, sorry, blue-green Zoro Sanji, but yeah, playing against the Zoro. I think it's kind of interesting that both this preliminary tournament and the last one, I think round 1 was also Zoro against another deck. I forget which one. I think it was Sakazuki, but Zoro kind of gaining some amount of traction. Zoro's hand is Buggy, 2 Robins, Sanji, and a Radical Beam. So a very low to the ground hand. I'm not sure, I don't think most of the recent Zoro builds have been playing, what's it called? What's the thing? The Whitebeard package. Also, sorry that just popped up. My bad, I must have moved my mouse a little bit. But, yeah, here we are. I think Luffy's going first, because he has a little card on top of his life. I'm pretty sure that's what it means. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. He does have the vanilla for his forward on turn. And that is usually what he wants to play going second. That or the, I guess, blocker law. But normally not. So yeah, turn 1, Luffy's just going to pass. Zoro will probably end up dropping the Buggy and maybe a vanilla, like the Sanji vanilla. That sounds solid. So yeah, tapping 1, playing the Buggy. See what he finds. Might be running some new events, we'll have to see. We see, I believe that's the new Fire Fist. He's also playing the 6-drop Sanji from the starter deck. So has some higher end cards. Probably is also playing like Rush Luffy, Rush Zoros, all the good Straw Hat Rush cards. And also does play down the vanilla Sanji and passes it back. Luffy going up to 3 Dawn. We'll probably use leader. Yep. Drawing a life and then gaining a Dawn. Swings for 5 at leader. Zoro will probably just take because why wouldn't you? Honestly, it's just kind of a free card. You want to be aggressive as he's holding a counter for it. Okay, maybe I'm the crazy one, my bad. So then Luffy's gonna tap 4, play down Page 1 and pass it back. This turn will be pretty solid for Zoro. He'll be able to swing with pretty much his whole board. It will probably get cleared, but I think, what does he have? He has another Buggy, which is pretty good. So he can go 1 Dawn on each of his characters and 1 on his leader, and then just play the Buggy after swinging 3 times, which is pretty good. Early aggression against Purple Luffy is solid because obviously they want to use their leader effect to take their life. They really don't want to take too many hits early, because if not, they're going to be very, very low if they're trying to ramp Dawn. But Zoro's going to swing 5 with Buggy. I imagine maybe 1 hit will be taken here, the other 2 will be countered out of. So it's just a matter of which hit you want to counter out of. Luffy has plenty of 2Ks and a couple 1Ks, although the 1Ks are blockers, so you probably don't want to use them. Maybe you just go down on a 2K here. He was grabbing the law though, so maybe not. We'll see. Just thinking about it a little bit. Yeah, there is also an OPO6 preliminary tournament that happened after this one. Zoro going another 5, by the way. But I figured, because I'm a little bit behind on this, I should cover this first because it is in OPO5 format, so we might as well get a little bit more knowledge as to the format that we're going to be playing in. So yeah, he does counter out of 2 of the 5Ks and then eats the 6K from leader. Zoro is going to drop down the Buggy. We'll have to see what he adds. Has 1 option, and that is Diable Jambe. Alright, I guess he's going to add Diable Jambe. We can see Zoro does pretty much have all the alt arts, which are pretty cool. We're kind of getting them through little binders. We've had like the Film Red one, and the other one that's like called the Wano arts. So those are pretty cool. I always appreciate them because they almost always have a chopper in it. So that means we can play that in Law. But Luffy is now on, should be 6 Dawn, could eat a life and ramp to 7. I don't think he has 7-drop Kid in hand. so probably not going to do that. Might still ramp one just to see an extra card. Is going to be able to clear 2 bodies here. Going 5 or 6 at Buggy. Is going to use leader. So what's his play here? Tapping 5. Did he just rip that poly off of life? That is crazy. So he's actually going to be able to clear the whole board, which is really, really good. And he establishes 2 6k bodies now. So those probably stick around for a while, unless Zoro uses some removal on them. Because normally, most swings with the Zoro, you don't really want to spend an extra Dawn to attack. So Zoro also being on 6 Dawn now. Honestly, not a lot of great plays now. He didn't find any of the Searcher Namis early on, so he doesn't have kind of his mid-rangey cards, like 5-drop Luffy, like we saw the Sanji earlier. Not that Sanji would really be super great in this spot, but still a little bit awkward. Maybe he wants to just swing big. Yep, is gonna swing 10 at life. I believe that's 10. Yeah. And Luffy will take that. No trigger. Can't quite see. I think that's a 9-drop Kaido he just picked up. Zoro probably does want to take some attacks this turn because he is seemingly kind of low on, I wouldn't say low on cards, but he is low on productive plays. Has 2 Robins, has 2 Radical Beams, has a Fire Fist, and has a Diablo Jambe. So nothing you really want to play this turn, honestly. The Fire Fist and the Robin still can't really KO anything because all of Luffy's bodies are 6k. So definitely a bit of an awkward turn. I want to see what his first life is because he did skip out on taking that first life. So I'm curious if it would have helped him have better cards for this turn. Let's see. What is that? It's at like the very end. Darn. I think it's another Radical Beam. So, okay, I guess I was wrong. That first life had no impact. My bad. Luffy, I mean, Zoro might end up taking all of his life this turn. Not all of his life, but just takes the remaining 2 hits that he's gonna be swung at by Luffy with the poly and the leader. But Zoro is currently getting hit by the 4-drop law. This is pretty brutal. Let's see what he hits. Hits a Radical Beam and a Robin. Those both were dupes in hand, but honestly, most of the hits in that hand were okay for the Zoro because he doesn't really have many great plays. Maybe just wants to keep the defense or the Diablo Jambe, try to sneak in lethal. Luffy going 6. Zoro will take. Looking at it like it might be a trigger. I don't know exactly what his list is, so I'm not sure if there are any very impactful triggers here. Oh, we can kind of see it. Looks like, is that Fire Fist? I'm pretty sure that's Fire Fist. That's not doing anything. Yeah, so he'll just take that to hand. Luffy still has... Oh, did he swing with everything, or did he just swing with Luffy now? I swear, I looked away for a second. I'm not sure what happened there. Okay, he just swung with Luffy, my bad. And, Zoro will pick up... Man, they cut away too quick. We'll have to see on his turn. Luffy dropping a 5-drop Kid, which is pretty solid. I think that card is nuts. Really, really good card. Looks like it's hard to see Zoro's hand right now. We'll have to see just what he plays. Looks like there's a Makino and ooh, a Nami. Okay, so he found a Nami off life, which is pretty good. Could potentially get him a rush card this turn. Did drop down to 2 life though, and he is most certainly losing on board, which is not the spot you really want to be playing Zoro. So, okay, we get a better view of his hand. Yeah, plays are still looking kind of bleak. Definitely want to get down the Nami this turn. Oh, and that's a Dawn, not a Radical Beam. Not used to that alt art. But, yeah, I mean, he has some plays. Can kind of develop a bunch of little guys this turn if he wants to do that. Maybe leave some Dawn up for the Radical Beam. Gonna tap 2. Play Fire Fist on the Law. And then, okay, he's gonna Robin the Law. Don't hate the play. Don't hate the play. I'm curious exactly why Zoro is playing Fire Fist. Like, I think the card is good, Like, it's basically just Otamaing something twice, right? And then it has the added benefit of popping a 0 cost. It's probably mainly just for the Sakazuki matchup, because that card does get a lot of value in the Sakazuki matchup. But Zoro really doesn't get to abuse it as much as like Red Purple Law gets to abuse that card, because Law can obviously reduce something, pop the Rebecca, and then bottom deck whatever he reduced. So okay, so Zoro just forgoing playing the Nami or the Dawn and just going 9 at life. Maybe wants to hope that he blocks with like the Kid and just lets it go. I don't know. As a Luffy player, how scared really are you? He's gonna block with Kid. Looks like he's gonna double 2k. That's pretty good. And then Zoro's just gonna pass. I feel like as the Luffy player, you're pretty safe, because I guess you're the most scared of like Rush Luffy maybe, but even then you can just eat one and either block the other, so you're really in a fine spot. You're not too worried about dying next turn. You also have full Dawn this turn, so if he plays 9 Kaido, he can pop the Robin, likely put Zoro down to 0 life, and game is almost over basically. Putting Zoro in that spot, unless you had like 0 counter, I don't think Zoro can really get out of it. But 6k coming at Zoro's life, he'll drop a 2k to get out of it. Luffy still has 2 more swings, probably isn't going to swing with the Eustace blocker, and could just 9-drop Kaido, so he'd have 3 more swings. And I think he'd have 2 remaining Dawn after playing Kaido, because he'd have 1 already from just being at 10 Dawn after playing 9, and then 1 ramped from the Kid. So he can go like 6 here, and then play 9-drop, have the 1 extra Dawn plus the 1 Dawn you ramp from Eustace, then go 7-10, which will probably put them at 0 life. So yeah, he's going to tap 9, play the Kaido, put back 5, pop the Robin, and re-ramp one of them. Yep, swing 7 at life. So I mean, Zoro could either Radical Beam out of this, or counter out of the next one. Maybe just, okay, maybe trying to get him to commit a little bit more. But I mean, what else are they really doing? I think even if you just Radical Beam out of the Luffy hit, they're still going to swing at Kaido with you. But then maybe, could you die potentially? No, not really, right? Unless they swing like Kid and you don't have like a 2k. I don't know. Maybe that was why. You might not have much counter outside of the Radical Beam and the 1-2k. But this game it's looking bleak for the Zoro player. I'm curious why he chose to play Zoro. Like, what matchups are you looking for as the Zoro player in this meta? Because I feel like Enel survives your aggression. I think you do okay into Luffy. Like, I think the matchup is probably more even than we can really see. I think Zoro might have just had a little bit of a rougher early game, kind of didn't have great plays for a couple turns. And that probably just set him behind, not having maybe the rush cards he wanted to see. I imagine the deck is mostly rush at this point, but yeah, we probably just saw Zoro just kind of losing to Zoro in this matchup, because I do think, like, it makes sense him doing well, being able to get a couple attacks in pretty early against Purple Luffy and really apply pressure. But Luffy will counter out of the 7k hit from the leader Zoro. He did Diablo Jambe it, so he was trying to go for 7 and then 9 with the rush Luffy he has, which is fair. That was probably like his only out to this board. Now he kind of has to attempt to survive next turn. Plays down the buggy. Looks like he whiffed, so no Radical Beam for defense. Unfortunate. Zoro's gonna play down the Nami, most likely. Yep. Once again, looking top 5. Has to tap 1. Sees a Zoro. And what are his other options? And or a Jet Pistol. I don't think the Jet Pistol was really enough. I think Jambe and 5-drop Luffy was just better. It's just Luffy did have the counter for that route, so now we're just attempting to recover from that. But I don't think there's really a great way to recover from that. I think we're probably just dead. Zoro rarely plays blockers, so it's not looking good. Yeah, I really am curious. I'm trying to think about it now on what matchups you want to see as the Zoro player. Not NL. Sakazuki you might do okay in with all the unblockable stuff. You're playing Fire Fist. The deck might be teched more towards the Sakazuki matchup. Red Purple Law. You probably do okay in the Red Purple Law. Like, sure, they can bottom deck all your little guys, but like it's really not that bad if you're playing all the rush cards. These matchups are probably like not that bad, honestly. I gotta think about it a little bit more. But that is the game. Purple Luffy taking it. Yeah, we'll continue this. I think there's a couple more matches in this preliminary tournament, and then I will be covering the OP06 one because OP06 new stuff, very cool. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.